What do I mean by this and why the name? Most of you would be wondering. I think content writing is a field that has probably been there for a very, very long time. I think that it's probably been a field that has been hidden along with a lot of other fields, because no one used to pay a lot of attention to content, fortunately or unfortunately, but things have started changing in a span of about 2 or 3 years, or maybe a little more than that. And I think it has become a very interesting field for a lot of people. You can take it up, you can work in different areas of content, and the options are unlimited. But before I get into all that, I'll just begin by giving a brief introduction about, well, Monkey Funky Studios. Now, what is this and how this came about? I won't take much time again introducing my company and introducing whatever we do, because that's something which is again going to bore you, apparently. So we are a studio, we are a design studio. We do a lot of designs, we do a lot of branding activities, we write a lot of content for blogs, for websites, and God knows what. So it is something that's been related to us for a long, long time. And well, as you get to know me and I get to know you guys, I think we can talk more about this. But again, I'm not going to waste a lot of time on it. I'm going to jump onto the next slide. And well, that's about me, okay? So I'm just going to run you through, just to tell you who I am and what I do, right? Again, not taking much of your time here. What I started out with, and what happened in the middle, and well, where I am today. Now, I think the best thing to note in terms of what I do, or what I am, I think the internet probably provides you a lot of inputs about everyone these days, and I'm no different. So typing my name on Google probably gives you all the details you need. But I've just tried to shorten it up a little bit, and I've tried to tell you what I have been. So I've been a packaging professional for as long as I have known, but that is something I didn't do for a very, very long time. I just shifted to design because that's who I was. I was a creative person, and well, that is the only thing I could have done. So I started out into web design. I've been doing that since 2002, 2004. And of course, branding, marketing, digital marketing, I ventured into training services. And well, currently I'm a brand and concept consultant along with a trainer. Okay, so for people like you who are trying to shift careers, who are trying to make choices, well, I'm one of the persons who can help you. Now, I don't have to say a lot of things about myself because that's going to take a while, and that's not what the webinar is all about. So giving this brief has just told you what I am and what I do, and I'm going to push ahead. I'm going to go straight into content writing. Most of you might know what it is, and most of you might be wondering what it is. So I'm going to make it a little simple for you. Okay, before I get into this, I just want to tell you that as I said, the chat window is always open. I would like to know a lot of things from you. I am going to take a lot of questions towards the end of my presentation. And once it's over, well, the floor is open for you. So I'm going to take a lot of questions. I'm going to try to answer as much as I can. And of course, be patient with me. I'll try to answer everyone correctly, properly. And the good thing is that I'll always be available even otherwise out of this webinar. So even otherwise, if you want to get in touch with me and ask any kind of questions, well, I'm always there for you, right? Let's go ahead. Okay, something very interesting here, right? How many of you remember these Amul ads? Most of you do, I think, right? Most of you would have heard of it. Most of you would have seen it in the newspaper somewhere or even on television, right? It's not so much about the Amul baby, is it? Right? Yes, Radhika says very interesting ones, and yes, I agree. Yes, yes, yes. The most interesting ones that I could pick out, but I'm sure most of you remember something which, well, something might be different than this. Something more latest. I've picked out these old ones, obviously. But the thing to note here is not what's been presented, it's the way it has been presented through the writing, right? Now the captions speak for themselves, and that's probably why writing is so important. This again is a part of content writing with a bit of creative spice in it, right? And that's how you become creative. And that's what people remember. People remember lines, people remember the images, but more than the images, they remember the impact that the images made for them. And this, having picked this out as an example for you guys, I just wanted to show you what impact writing can make. It's not all about the images at the end of the day. It's not about graphics. It's not about what shows on screen and that attracts your attention. It's sometimes the words that you remember, right? Okay. So just a representation of what I'm going to talk about. Let's move ahead. Yes. So the first step, what do you do basically? What is content writing and how do you get into it? Well, how do you get into it maybe comes a little later, but let me just discuss what it is one by one. Okay. Now what it is. Content writing, as I think most of you might have an idea, is about writing for various mediums. And I just don't mean online. I mean writing for anything online or even offline. Content is required everywhere. You're going to write for newsletters, you're going to write for websites, you're going to write for social media channels. Well, the list is endless there. You have many options in terms of writing content, and that's probably the beauty of content writing. There are many forums available, there are many options available, and well, the most important thing to note here is very few people who can do this, right? Not many people can write content. So please bear that in mind. There are very few people who can write good content. And hence, the options are out there, but the demand is also there, but the people are less. Secondly, well, the good thing is, as I mentioned it before, content has been in demand, content writing rather, has been in demand for many years. And well, it's expected to grow. What is the reason for the growth? Well, because there are a lot of companies, whether be it multinational companies or be it startups or be it e-commerce companies that we all know of, everyone needs content. Everyone needs that bit of captions and social media, Twitter handles to be taken care of, Facebook pages to be taken care of. And not everything works on images. Things work on content. People remember, as I said, the words, and hence the demand is expected to grow further rapidly at that in the coming years. Choices, yes. There are many options one can pick within the vast content writing field. Of course, there are a lot of choices out there. It depends on what kind of style you want to adopt. Some people are good at social media writing. Some people are good at academic writing. Some people might be good at technical writing. You never know. You just have to pick the one you like, the one thing that suits you, and well, you're on your way. The good thing about content writing is it gives you a lot of options, and the options are there for you to pick and master them. It's something that very few fields can give you, and probably content writing is one of them, right? So this is how the first step should be, just to get an understanding of what this field is about. Let's move ahead. Yes, so becoming a content writer. Can anyone do this? A lot of people have asked me this, and I think I've always given just one answer: yes. Anyone can be a content writer. Anyone can try for it. It is something that can be learned. It is something that can be mastered. It might take a little bit of time, I do agree, but I think content writing is a field which is very open these days. And hence, it's extremely important to try out content writing. Many people hesitate while trying, isn't it? We all have a certain tendencies within us that stop us from doing something we want to do. But again, that's probably something we should overcome. I feel that that's probably one hurdle you should overcome. And you ladies, by the way, who are going to restart their careers and you know, who plan to do a lot of things in the future, well, you have a lot of options, but for you to make a decision, you just have to tap within your mind once. You have to tap within what you need, what you want, and well, Once you decide that, it's all smooth sailing after it. Okay. And yes, there are a lot of things that go into becoming a content writer. You can work as a freelancer, you can work as an employee. There are a lot of options available. The only thing with content writing is it has to be learned. Again, in any other field, everything has to be learned. You can't have a situation where you haven't learned something and you make an attempt at it. So obviously you'll have to learn it. You'll have to put in some time, put in some effort to know the details of content writing, how to write, what to write, the lengths of writing, the style of writing, and a lot of other things are there. But yes, it does help if you make an attempt. I think the options in content writing these days, considering a lot of startups have come into the market, a lot of e-commerce companies have come into the market, there are a lot of things happening over the internet, and well, blogs are popular, social media is popular, it's just all over the place. So you just need to pick what you like, learn it, and then, well, venture into it. That's probably the best thing one can do. Having a background would help, yes. People who have journalism backgrounds, people who have graduated in anything to do with language, it does help. But again, not all of us can do that. Again, I myself haven't done that. So, well, you would ask me, have you done it? Well, no, sorry, I haven't. But this is something I have learned, and this is something I have mastered over the years. So I've had to put in time in the beginning, but where I am today, well, that's it. I made a choice a few years back. I took in the plunge, and again, when you probably jump into the swimming pool for the first time, it's not very easy. But once you put in the effort and your legs start to tumble up and down, well, you learn to swim, isn't it? So this is probably something like that. Again, the one very big thing which goes in favor of people who are going to become content writers is that content writing is now required in various languages too. So again, as I said in one of those points, that is a big plus, because you will require content in various languages nowadays. Websites are coming out in various languages. You have blogs coming out in various languages. You have a lot of other things which come up day in and day out. So there is a lot of demand out there, and it is possible to be done. Okay, let's see what's next. Okay, is there real scope? Again, something a lot of you might be thinking. So let's try and hit the target here. Okay, one by one. 1, 2, 3. Let's hit the darts. First thing, or the first reason, well, as I've been mentioning, no matter which field it is right now, it could be IT, it could be hospitality, retail, e-commerce, you name it. Everyone needs content. I've been very, very straightforward with it. And as I have mentioned before, it doesn't matter if it's a multinational company, it doesn't matter if it's a small startup, if it's an e-commerce company like Amazon or Flipkart, everyone needs content. Everyone needs someone who can write things for them. And as I've mentioned it before, not everyone can do it. So there is a lot of scope out there for content writers. Secondly, or reason number 2, as we put it, well, good content writers are always in demand. Yes, they are. And it's essential to marketing these days. So your marketing depends a lot on your content. Good content, well-written content, captions, headlines, taglines, God knows what. Even Twitter handles with the humorous kind of things that you see over the internet are all governed by good content. And hence, there is a lot of demand for people who can do that. Again, creativity, a lot of you would probably be thinking, can I learn that kind of creativity? Can that just come to me? Well, I can tell you that it doesn't come instantly, but yes, it is something you can learn. It is something that you can put in your head. And once you get creative with your writing, well, the scope is endless for anyone who wants to try it. Reason number 3, well, there are many options to choose from. Yes, you can pick the writing style you like. So again, technical writing, business writing, social media writing, blog writing, there are just too many options out there. You can pick the one you want. You can pursue the one you want. And the good thing is there are just too many things which are going to come up even in the future, because things are on the upswing. Yes, a few things might be a little here and there, But I think most of this will be on the upswing, and a lot of things can be learned through content writing as well. It's a specialized field, remember, and something which I believe will be of huge benefit to anyone who takes it up as a career, right? Okay, so again, what choices do you have? I have been discussing with you what kind of writing styles you can pick, and I believe this slide should tell you one by one. I'm just going to load it up quickly. Okay, so what kind of options do you have? Well, you have SEO writing. Again, SEO writing is a bit technical, I understand. It involves writing for a lot of websites out there. It is a bit technical in terms of understanding how content is written around keywords. And I think the kind of writing involves search engine friendly. So I think that is something which is a little tough to learn initially, but again, it is something that you can do as well. With a bit of help, with a bit of specialized training, this can be done. Social media, yes, it's probably the most sought after, as I've said. You have just so many channels out there right now. You have, sorry, Radhika, okay. Radhika, I'm just going to come back to your question. Is SEO an abbreviation? Yes, it is, okay. So I'm going to explain this to you in a little bit of time, okay. I'll answer that for you. Please bear with me till then, okay. So social media, yes, it's, as I was mentioning, it's the most sought after right now because you have a lot of channels for it. You have Twitter, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, but again, Instagram is more about pictures. But you have a lot of social media channels which require regular content to be, out there day in, day out, okay. Yes, Geeta is right. Yes, Radhika, that's, thank you, Geeta, thanks for that. So you've one step ahead of me, huh? Okay, good, good, good. So yes, that the SEO part of it means search engine optimization, okay? And of course, you have blog writing. So you can write blogs for a lot of companies. You can write blogs for websites. You can write blogs for startups and, well, for a lot of things and a lot of companies out there. I think blog is one of the most popular forms of content writing out there. And again, demand is more, supply is less. You don't have a lot of people who can do that. And if you can do it, well, that would be great. Shilpi, hi. Hello, hello. Again, I would encourage you all to just make a note of whatever questions come to your mind. I'm going to answer them all once the presentation finishes. I'll open the floor for questions. Please feel free to ask me any questions. And well, we'll discuss, we'll talk, don't worry about it. And I'm hoping that the presentation is going well so far. I've tried to make it very simple and not boring. So I'm hoping it is not boring for you guys, okay? Yeah, so let's continue. You have copywriting. Well, again, copywriting is something to do with a little bit of creativity there, okay? So you need your creative juices to flow into your head, okay? Okay, Shilpi. Yes, Shilpi, there are different courses, yes, and again, I'm going to talk about that as well towards the end. So all the questions, as I've mentioned, you can keep putting them in the chat, and I'll come back to all of them one by one. Okay. So anyone who has a question, anyone who wants to ask me something, please post it in the chat, and I'll keep coming back to them. Okay. Right. So business content. Now this is a little, what can I say? Business content is a little boring, when I say boring, well, okay, I've got a message from someone. Okay, right, okay. I think I've zoomed it maximum. I don't know what is the issue here. Anyhow, so I'll just try to do what you've told me. Tanuja, okay, Tanuja. Okay, fine. So I was just talking about business content. Now, business content, well, it involves writing a lot of website content, case studies, white papers, and stuff. This is again something which might not interest you a lot. I think it is something that a lot of larger organizations require. A lot of bigger IT companies or bigger companies in any sector for that matter might require a bit of technical writing, or this constitutes a bit of technical writing. But again, if you are into it and if you feel that that is something you want to do, well, that is something you can do, and probably it will help you as well. Okay, fine. So these are some options which you have in terms of content writing. Again, there are many others too. You can choose the one that yes. Okay, Rocha, was that for me, Rocha? I'm not sure. Or are you directing that towards the question or the query that was made? Sorry?
Towards the attendees, because
Yeah, okay.
I zoom
Okay.
it, I get.
Yes, true. I was just going to tell her that, but thank you again. Thank you. Ladies are of great help here. You're all helping me out here, which is very nice, okay? And it also tells me that in this case, at least everyone is attentive. Otherwise, you know how it works, right? Someone would be opening a window of Twitter or maybe Facebook, or, you know, maybe answering a short email or something. So I'm very happy that's not happening, or I hope that's not happening, okay? Right? So, okay, these are the choices you have, and of course whatever questions you have, keep posting them, and it might be regarding these choices, and we shall look into it one by one. Okay. Okay, so a very important question a lot of people have asked me over the years is, well, can I work as a freelancer? And again, let's hit the dots one by one. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so can you work as a freelancer, as a freelance content writer? Yes, you can. In fact, a lot of people do that. Okay. Okay, waiting to hear on academic writing and technical writing. Yes, Geeta. I shall. What I've done is I've added the major options which content writers can pick at this point. Okay, I haven't missed technical writing, but I haven't emphatically mentioned it. Okay, because technical writing is sometimes also a part of business writing. But again, if there are any questions specific to this, please make sure that you ask me, and I'll answer them for you. Okay. So anyhow, let me get back to the slide. Now, how do you work as a freelancer? What are the advantages of working as a freelancer? The good thing is you stay independent, because there are a lot of you, by the way, who are restarting your careers and who want to do this on a part-time basis. The good thing is you can do it. Okay, it's something you can very well do. Of course, there is a little bit of groundwork which is required. You'll have to do a little bit of networking. You have to talk to a lot of people. You have to make a few phone calls. You have to be active on social media, and a lot of other things can be done. But this is a possibility which is very much there for you, because it gives you great flexibility. It makes you independent. You can work whenever you want, wherever you want, and that's a big plus, right? And especially for you ladies, I think that's a big plus. Again, you can decide the nature of the projects you take. So you can decide whether you want to write blogs, you want to write for someone's social media pages, or you can take up writing in terms of business or technical writing, which we have just discussed briefly. There are a lot of options which are available to you, as long as you want to pick that as, you know, a pointed direction. Again, it depends on what a person wants in the future to make sure that you make that decision, because working as a freelancer will have its own disadvantages also. Of course, you can also do it as your own business. You can become a content writer, you can pick projects, you can, okay, how to start working as a freelancer, how to showcase, okay, fine. So I'm going to come back to this, Ruchi. I'll make sure that I answer this for you. Okay, so the good thing is no pressure to work. Okay, it's how many hours you can put in a day. Some people would like to put in 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever it might be. Some people might want to put in 8 hours of work, you know, for all I know. But I think the good part about this is that you pick the projects, you pick the companies, you pick the nature of the work, and you pick the number of hours. So that flexibility is great. For some of you, it might actually work very well. and without compromising on a lot of other things that you're doing, and which I believe a lot of people might be doing. I think this would be a better option, right? Okay. Um, can freelancers, okay, Priyadarshini, okay. I'm just gonna again come back to this, okay? One by one, I'll pick your questions, okay? So the good thing or the keyword with working as a freelancer is that you get flexibility, you get independence, and if that's what you're looking for, that's probably the best option you have, okay? This field will allow a lot of people, a lot of ladies out there are already doing it, by the way, and doing it very well. So it depends on what kind of things you're looking for, what kind of flexibility you're looking for, and I think they should work very well for you, okay? So let's move ahead, let's check out some other options as well, okay? Now, working full-time, huh? So if you do not want to work as a freelancer, you can also work full-time, and well, that's another option which is available to you. But again, let's look at this in the larger perspective, okay? There are a lot of people who want their careers to go in a certain direction, okay? Working as a freelancer, yes, will have its own advantages and you can work whenever you want. But working full-time also will have its own advantages. You'll have fixed income, which is, if that's what your aim is, well, you have that as, you know, as something which you might want to do. But again, over time, if that is something that you're looking for in terms of building your skills, in terms of working with other people who are into similar fields, working with a team of writers, because that helps. You can, getting inputs from other people and working in a team, again, is a very, very good thing for most of the people. And if that's the kind of growth you want, well, this is for you. It also gives you another great advantage working full-time, because you get to work with a brand. Imagine yourself working with Amazon or working with Flipkart or working with any of the other companies which are doing well right now. That is something you're going to get only if you work full-time, because at the end of the day, most of these brands and companies have a team of in-house writers, and it works for them because you have people who are sitting there who are writing content day in, day out. It gives you advantage of working for that brand. It gives you a sense of push in your career. So if that is something you're looking for, well, that is something you can do. This is not something which is going to be a good thing in terms of working as a freelancer, because working as a freelancer, you're not quite sure with which brand you'll work and with, you know, with what kind of people you're going to work. But working with a brand gives you that sense of security. And if that is what you want, well, that's something you can get. And of course, you have opportunity to learn new things from your colleagues and seniors. That's a big thing. Imagine you have just started out as a content writer. If you're working for a brand and you get to work with someone really senior who has written a lot of content over the years for blogs and for social media and stuff, I think there's nothing like that. There's nothing learning from someone who has done it over the years. That really works very well. But again, it's something you're going to get only if you work full time. Okay. And the most important thing, well, no headache of getting projects from anywhere. You just get work because companies have work and you just have to sit there and write it for them. So the hassle of making phone calls and connecting with people and networking and all these things goes out of the picture. So this works in the opposite way. So if you want the comfort of income, security, working with a brand, not getting stressed out if you don't get projects, this is something which you can do. Okay. In the meanwhile, I've also got another question. Okay. Akshata, okay, you have two questions. Okay. So I'm going to again come back to this question towards the end, because I'm just taking questions right now and I'll be coming back to all of them towards the end. So the previous two slides have told you something very different. Working as a freelancer, advantages, good things and bad things. And this time I'm going to come back to working as a freelancer, advantages, disadvantages, and what are the challenges that you might face while working as a freelancer. Okay.
Hello. Omkar, can you hear us? Hello, Omkar. Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yes. Sorry, there was a momentary failure here, but I am back. I'm back. Okay, so I'm just sharing my
Great.
screen once again. Sorry about that. Okay, are you all able to see my screen once again?
We are.
Okay, yes. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, and this is what I have told you. So the good thing and the bad thing about working as a freelancer and working full time, I've just tried to put out a few differences here. Most of them, I think, you will experience once you decide to take a plunge, and well, once you decide to take up this career in content writing. But again, the good thing is you do have a lot of choices. Okay, so let me move ahead. Okay, this, I think a lot of you might be thinking. I believe that a lot of you might have worked in different fields, isn't it? I'm sort of expecting that some of you would have been in software, some of you would have been in some other fields. I don't know that. But I think the good thing is that even though you might want to switch your careers from that to this, the question that arises would be, is it easy to do that? Is it something that you can do? The good thing is, yes, you can. And what do you have to do for that? I've just made a few short pointers that might help you, okay? Before I get into these pointers one by one, I just want to tell you something which I've told a lot of people over the years, that when you're trying to make a switch in your careers, I think the most important aspect would be to make a calculated decision, okay? It's not easy to switch careers. You have done something all your life, it's something you have done for 10 years, 12 years. Some of you might have done it for more or less, I don't know. But is it possible to make a switch? Is it possible to go from one end to the other without getting mixed up in your mind? The good thing is it is possible. Okay, you just have to make a decision once. It's not that you will make a recurring decision about your career. The decision is made only once, but it has to be a calculated one. Okay, you have to decide whether something is going to work for you in a positive manner going ahead. The field is not important. It's not about content writing or web design or graphic design or anything else that you might want to pick. The good thing is switching careers will only work if you make a decision in your head to actually be positive about it, because it's just like it's like doing some sort of a restart with your life. Okay, not just with your career, with your life. Few things will work, few things will not work, but that's the way life goes in general, isn't it? So you can become a subject matter. Yes. So there are a lot of things that you can do. Okay, content writing is just probably an example that we could take. The good thing is you have to stay a little positive about switching your career. You don't have to make that into a big deal. Please don't make it into a big deal, because it is not. Especially these days when the markets are more open, people are more willing to work with each other. I think it becomes easy for you to do that. Maybe 5 years back or 6 years back, it wasn't that easy, but now it is, and that's the good thing. Okay, any particular skill set is needed to start? Okay, yes, I'll tell you that. Okay, so do a bit of groundwork. Okay, do as much research as you can about the field before you actually jump into it, and I think that is something everyone must do. Again, it's not about content writing, it's about any field. You must know what the field is before you decide to switch into it. Okay, most people do a half measure approach. It never works. You never go into anything half measured. You go into it with full vigor and with full focus. Okay, only then it's going to work. Again, I've always believed the second point very strongly. Go with your instincts. You have to make decisions based on positive aspects of career switch. Make decisions based on what you like the most, what you can do well, and what you can do with absolute vigor and positiveness. And that's probably the only thing that will get you ahead. There is no other way of looking at it. Okay, and sometimes your instincts don't lie. So if your instincts tell you, yes, this is the best time to switch right now, let's do this, well, go ahead and do it. But make sure that you do not think negatively ever. Okay, and yes, get proper advice. Meet people, talk to people who have been in the field, who have done this, who can tell you what the reality of the field is. Okay, most people would paint a picture and most people would sell you dreams, but I don't believe in that. I think for me, I've always believed you must be able to give everyone a real picture of the field. There are good things and bad things in every field, and that's exactly how it should work. Okay, good things will always be positive. There will be certain bad things, but there is always a way to overcome that. Okay, and yes, making a career switch is much easier now. As I've said, it's a much easier time to do it. Maybe a few years back it wasn't, but now with the kind of options you have and the kind of things which are happening all around us, I think this is probably the best time to do it. Let's move ahead. I hope this has helped you. I've just tried to give you a few pointers. Oh yes. So if the rocket is ready to take off, what do? Okay. How do you fuel it up? Okay. First thing, again, I am becoming very specific to content writing now again. So fortunately or unfortunately, for content writing, it's just getting recognition as a field, as I've mentioned earlier, from let's say the past 4 years or 3 years or 4 years, you actually have people talking about it, right? Earlier it was just there as one of the fields and no one ever used to care about it. But now more and more people are talking about it. So that's becoming one of the good things that, it's getting recognition. But because of that, you don't have many institutions or, people out there who can train you in content writing. There are only few institutes which actually do that, and you can find them, but you're going to have to dedicate a lot of time to study that and then take this up as a field. But the good thing is, because it is getting recognized now, you have many options as well. Secondly, experience matters. So now what's also happening as a result is that content writing, because it is getting recognized, you have a lot of people who want content writers within their companies or, even to work with them as freelancers. So people are ready to take anyone on board who can give them a little sense of creativity, who can show them that, he or she can work for them. And I think that's a very big advantage in this field, because if you get yourself trained in a certain area of content writing and decide to master it, you actually have companies who will employ you because you have hands-on skills. And again, not many people have actually got that as an option in other fields. It's just that in content writing, that has become an option that anyone can take. Okay, so in this particular field of content writing, even if you might not have any formal education previously in content writing, you can still take it up. You can still get yourself trained in certain areas of content writing. For example, social media writing. Get yourself trained in social media writing. Make sure that you do a good course from someone who knows the field. Again, this is very important. You have a lot of options these days, but not all options are good. So you have to be a little careful about it. Okay. Once you make an informed decision, there are a lot of aspects which can be covered through it. And companies are ready to work with you, by the way. And content writing is such a field where your skills and your hands-on creativity will help. Okay, fine. And thirdly, okay, Vidya, yes, I'm just going to answer this particular question. Do you provide training? And again, there's another question. So, okay, I'm going to come back to all of this. Okay. Yes, don't worry. Again, the third point is important. Don't worry. Get expertise. Okay. Pick a style of writing you like and get yourself trained. You can pick any style. I've told you a few which are there, and there are many others too. You can pick the one you actually want and get yourself trained in it, because everyone has different sets of creativity and different sets of skills. Not everyone knows technical writing. Not everyone can do social media writing. So we all have our strong points and our weak points. So the emphasis should always be on the stronger points. You pick the ones that you really feel good about, and well, you get yourself trained. Okay, fine. So how do you take off? Well, this is how you take off. There are a lot of things that you can do to make sure that you venture into this field. If you do have any formal education before this related to writing, well, it will help. But this is something you can do without that as well. And that's probably something which right now is a very big advantage going ahead. Okay, yes. These are two images that represent something very good. Okay. Okay, in the meantime, I've got another question. Oh, yes. Okay, okay. So I'm going to answer that for you. Was it Geeta? Yeah, Geeta. Okay, okay. I'm going to come back to this. Okay. So what I've put out here is just, you know, a little brief on the salary structures that you have in larger or smaller organizations, the way you want to look at it. Again, companies like Myntra, Infosys, Flipkart, you know, again, there are just a lot of options out here, isn't it? It gives you an idea of what people stand to earn if they actually work full time. Again, let me tell you one more thing, that a lot of people from these companies who do content writing or who employ content writers do not always look for any formal education in content writing as such. They actually look for skills. And if you have the skills that they require, they would hire you. So be very positive about this, because at the end of the day, it's how much of this you can do. You can prove to them, and if you can, if you're able to do it, fair enough. I think you will be on your way. Okay. Okay. There's another question in the meantime, I believe. Yes. Okay, Geeta. Okay. Oh, Geeta, you're a freelancer. Oh, nice, nice. Very nice to hear that. Okay. So anyway, so this is just a representation. Okay. I'm just putting out a few numbers. Numbers are never interesting. Okay. For me, at least, they've never been interesting. More than that, I think this is just a way for me to give you a push. Okay. So just something all these companies are paying, and well, if you can write very well, they'll pay you more for sure. Okay. Okay. Now, final words from me. As far as this presentation is concerned, the bottom line, as they say, 3 pointers before I shift based to all the questions that you have been putting. Okay. As I've been saying, I think this field, content writing as a field, is very popular. It's going to get more and more popular because that's the way things are going now. The internet is all over the place. You have a lot of places where you need content, and as I've been saying, it is something not everyone can do. So you need a lot of expert help in writing content, and if you can be the expert help, you have a lot of options. Before going ahead, make sure you learn the tricks of the trade. So get people to help you. Okay. Okay, another question from Madhu. I'll come back to this. Reason I'm saying get to know the tricks of the trade is because you have to know what works in the industry, as I've been mentioning right from the start. It's very easy to venture into something on your own, but it's always better to learn something before you venture. Okay, so learn everything, learn it correctly, and then venture ahead. Okay, aim for expertise. Yes, it has, as I said, content writing has many options, and choose the one that suits you. So you might be good at something, please go for that. Okay, and that's going to come down to your instincts. It will come down to your instincts. It will come down to what you feel about something. This is a huge field, but it's going to come down to how much of it you can do on your own and do it well. Okay, fine. So there are a lot of ways to connect with me, and these are just a few of them. Okay, I'm going to just keep this slide open for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. You don't have to note anything down here. You can, I think, if you just get in touch with anyone, even on Jobs for Her, I think you can get in touch with me. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Omkar, we are going to give the video recording of this so that they'll get in time.
Yes. Yes, yes, that would be great. That's great, Divyalan. Okay, 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 that's great. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the questions now, one by one. Can we start that session now of questions and answers?
So, yeah, sure.